Hi, my name is Fredo, and I have a message. I'm not a guru, I'm not a sage, I'm not a wise man. I am just another guy. But I have something to tell you, and I ask for an apology for my quality of my video, the quality of my audio, the quality of my background. This video is not going to be full of flying bells and whistles. It's not a dog and a pony show. I'm here just to tell you a story. I'm just another guy. My name is Fredo. I live in Canada, and I'm a father of 3. And I'm nobody. But that is just part of it, like everything else. Please bear with me. This might be a little long, but it might be worth your while. Here we go. Well, imagine if you would have everything you want. You had everything you ever wanted, and anything that you wished for would be instantly granted. I know it sounds impossible, just bear with me. So, you don't need food, you don't need rest, you just exist, and you have the power to have anything, have everything. What would you want? Material things are irrelevant if you have that kind of power. You don't have a body anymore with that kind of power, so there is no physical things that you might need. There's nothing that you might request. And all you have is your love for everything. So, that being said, you wish to create something. You wish to create an idea. But you don't wish to control it. You wish to pour your love into an idea, like an artist that's creating something out of nothing. And what if that idea that you wish to create could have its own free choices, its own autonomy to expand? What if the creation that you're creating could create as well? So out of love, you would create something out of love. And that's something you would give it free will. So that something could create something also and choose. I'm going to speak in a lot of references. I'm going to speak in a lot of parabolas. So you just created something that can create and that can think. And that is beautiful because that is something that you created. So in that regards, whatever you created is part of you. Okay, so now what? You create the perfect setting, the perfect environment for your creation because you envisioned it to be perfect. And and you place your creation in a perfect environment with boundaries so large that when your creation gains consciousness, it will see that it is too big to even think about. And then your creation could focus on itself and how it feels. Because you gave your creation all the powers that you have. So your creation can create, and your creation can feel. But you didn't want to create just one. You created multiples of you. And here comes the concept of the pixel in a screen. Do you imagine, can you envision how many individual pixels are in the screen that you're watching right now? And each of those pixels has a color. Each of those pixels has a purpose and is in the right place at the right time because of the image that is being created. The pixel doesn't know that with its light, it is part of an image that is being created along with all the trillions of other pixels that are being elicited in that moment. So that individual pixel has a color and has a brightness and has a flicker rate. So yes, this is about God. And yes, this is about us. And what I'm trying to convey here is that we are the pixels of this canvas that has been created. And by being the pixels, we are generating an image. And the image that we are generating is the image of God. Through us, through the canvas that we are, the image that we collectively create is the image of God, because we are individual pixels in the canvas of creation. Bear with me. But what color am I right now? Just as pixels themselves in a TV screen, they can change their individual colors, or the colors are assigned to them. We too have the power to change our colors, even though we don't know it. And how do we do that? It's because of our feelings. It is well known that the human body has the chakra energy systems. It is well documented that these chakras have vibration, and it's well documented that these vibrations have colors. So when you go to the basic principles, the basic root chakras, the base chakra is red, and then you go from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to violet to indigo to white. And these transfer almost verbatim to the scale of consciousness, to the emotional guidance scale. So if you're feeling lower emotions on the guidance scale, like fear, your color is red. If you're feeling the highest emotions in the guidance scale, like love, freedom, joy, empowerment. You're indigo, you're white. There is no right, there is no wrong color to be felt, just as there is no right or wrong emotion to be felt, because every emotion that you feel generates the color of your pixel in that moment. Thus, every emotion is okay that you feel and that everybody else feels, because that is their purpose, that is their color, that is where they are in that moment of time. You could be feeling red right now, you could be feeling blue a minute from now. However, the jump from red to blue is not that easy. So, in this regard, when you are vibrating a color of your emotion, you are creating the canvas. You are creating the image that is God, the image that God intends to be created through us in this moment of time, because we have the choice of how to feel. And yes, feeling is a choice, because the precursor of feelings is thought. So when someone reaches enlightenment, it only means that that person is now the chooser of its own color, and not an active reactor, a passive reactor of whatever's around him or her. And this ties into everything. Your individual color in this moment of time is represented by your emotion, and that is what fuels the simulation. That is what makes the simulation expand and grow and be able to exist. So our emotions are the basis of the power unit of the creation that we are creating with our feelings, with our thoughts and emotions. So much like the Wachowski brothers referenced the human body as being the cell that would power the matrix, please understand that in that setting, there was a negative connotation to powering the matrix, because something was using the human body for the purposes of the movie, because they still have to sell tickets. There has to be a conflict. But what if there is no conflict? What if this whole thing was based out of love? Great, pure, true, unconditional love. And because of this, there is no duality. We are part of the simulation that we are creating, and we're creating the simulation because we're creating it. And we're creating it because we chose to, because we are the creations of God. We are the creation of God that is creating itself. So this Church of the Simulation of God is nothing more than the understanding that through our emotions, through our feelings, through our thoughts, we are creating the pixel that we are in that moment of time, to create the image that is being created, which we will never see, because it's the collectiveness, because my color and your color of our emotions at this moment of time is creating an image on the canvas of creation. So whenever there is a big human event, that there is a massive eliciting of emotions, collective emotions, and everybody's feeling. Not everybody is gonna feel the same thing at once, at all times. That will make the canvas, that will turn the canvas into one solid color at once, and that doesn't exist. It's impossible. There's always color fluctuation. There's always the movement. Right now, as I'm moving my arms, the pixels in the screen are showing different positions. So the positions in the screen are, the pixels in the screen are being lit by the emotions that I'm eliciting with my movements. But the image that we create collectively through our emotions, which are represented by the pixels that we are, through our colors of the emotions, that image is God. And so are we, because we are the simulation. The pixel is its brightest when we're young. The pixel is its brightest once we're born until we reach puberty. The moment we reach puberty, our pixel starts dimming. And thus, it is generated in us the desire to expand, the desire to create life. So that desire that sprouts out of puberty, it's because the dimming of our pixel is inevitable, because the simulation is always expanding, and we expand the simulation through our desire to create life. That's why when children are young is redundant. That's why when young children are so intense with their emotions, because their pixel is the brightest it will ever be. Their emotions are the purest form. And the intensity of our emotions dictate the brightness of our pixel. So if you have an intense positive emotion, your pixel is shining bright. If you have an intense not so positive emotion, your picture is also shining bright, but in a different color. And that's also required for the image. This is also required. So there is no right or wrong emotion. There is no right or wrong. And the dimming of our pixel, which is inevitable, is only made up by the fact that we can create more pixels. And no, I'm not referring to children as pixels, and I'm not referring to us as a futile experiment. This is all based on love. This is all based out of unconditional love. Because we were created out of love. We actually volunteered to be here, but that's a different story. There's more on that later. So when we go to sleep every night, it's our refresh rate, because every pixel flickers. We can't see it in our eyes. It seems like a constant flow, but they flicker. Have you ever recorded a video of a TV screen of a monitor, and it's yeah? And that happens when we go to sleep. That's why we have to sleep, because it's the refresh rate of our pixel. That's when we recharge. So we can have a whole plethora of emotions left the next day. We have recharged our pixel. That's why we need to sleep. That's why we can't get around it without a sleep. College students try, but you know how you feel. You spend, a day, 2 days without sleep. You know how you feel. And there's no way, because it's the emotion that creates the energy of your pixel that then translates to the color of the emotion you're feeling through the scale of emotions. So in the scale of emotions, there are several guides that have led us to understand this and the scale of emotions. There's Dr. Hawkins, transcending the emotional scales. Then there is Abraham Hicks and the emotional guidance scale, which is the one I'm going to use as a baseline. In Abraham Hicks, in the book Ask and It Is Given, page 114, they list 22 emotions. So starting from the bottom up, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness, that's all in 22. That's a deep red. Insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, it's 21. Jealousy is 20. 19 is hatred, rage. 18 is revenge. 17 is anger. 16 is discouragement. 15 is blame. See how these are getting softer. 14 is worry. 13 is doubt. 12 is disappointment. 11 is overwhelmment. 10 is frustration, irritation, impatience. 9 is pessimism. 8 is boredom. But 7 is content. 6 is hopefulness. 5 is optimism. 4 is positive expectation and belief. 3 is enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. 2 is passion. And 1 is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. And that would be a bright white. So you see, all these emotions transfer into colors. On the links to this video, I'm going to reference some of this. And in the aftermath of this video is the initiation of a project, the start of a project. The project of the Church of the Simulation of God. And I need your help for this. This project is beautiful. And it's not my project, it was given to me. Just as this information is not mine, it was given to me. Like I said in the beginning, I'm just a messenger. And we're going to see. I have organized a fundraiser with GoFundMe. If anything that I said today resonated with you in any level, please go ahead and donate any quantity, any amount. It will help this project to start. It will help this project to go. Because it will go. Because it must go. We're going to change the consciousness of the planet. We're going to teach people how to learn about emotions. And we're going to create the most beautiful image that we can create together, which is the image of God. Thank you.